Welcome again to RozLive.tv. Today we're welcoming Dr. Elaine Love. She served as a school counselor, college professor, PhD program advisor, and she's currently a school administrator. She brings solid credentials and a deep understanding of various cultures and a wealth of experience to her current role as an assistant principal in a highly diverse middle school in the South King County area. She's here today to talk about how changing technology, new family structures, and cultural diversity are affecting parenting. She's written an amazing book for parents called Parenting Yesterday, Parenting Today. It offers solutions to parents on a parent-to-parent basis, with emphasis on how to communicate with educators and much more. Most importantly, Dr. Elaine Love is the parent of a daughter who's thriving. Let's welcome Dr. Elaine Love.
Thank you, Roz.
I'm so glad you could come. Now, let me tell it. We've not met before.
Right.
I met you today when you walked into the studio, but when we talked by phone, I felt like I had known you 100 years.
Yes.
And I am so glad that you were willing to come sight unseen and come meet me and do a little sit down about your book, Parenting Yesterday, Parenting Today.
Yes.
And the reason I think this book is so important is there's some sections in here that I want to ask you about, in particular having to do with interaction between parents and schools. But before we get to that,
Okay.
I'd like you to just pick out a couple chapters that you think are key for parents. Tell us a little bit about them and why you think they're important for parents.
Okay. Well, Roz, I start from zero to birth. A lot of parents read books about what to expect when you're expecting, the fetus at 3 months, the terrible twos, the terrible threes. But what I've seen with working with parents in the school is that they pass the baton on to the school. And for the most part, a lot of parents don't read another book. The expectation is the school's responsibility to educate their child.
Right.
And so what I want parents to do is to be empowered and to take it a little further, because although the school will be responsible for some things when it comes to your child, you are the parent, and they are with you more than they're with the schools. So it's important that parents connect with their child. And technology has really taken over quite a bit in this day and age. And so what I'm looking at is, okay, technology is important, but family time is important as well. So let's reconnect and get that family time in, and let's just put the technology away. There'll be time for that. But then again, there's time for parents to parent and spend time and not letting technology take over the parenting role.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, me being of mixed culture was not very much embraced. And so I had teachers that mentored me and actually helped me to feel good about myself. So there's a chapter in there about embracing your culture and writing a poem about where you are from and how your background and your diversity is important as far as feeling good about yourself. So there's a chapter in there about writing a poem about feeling good about you. And then the last chapter that I really enjoy is leaving the nest. Some parents will say, okay, at age 18, it's time for you to leave the nest. Well, did you come up with a plan? Did you talk about like a 3-year, 5-year goal? Did they visit different types of businesses out there, because maybe they were considering these types of businesses for a future job?
Yes.
So if the kids aren't talking to you about what they want to be when they grow up in elementary or middle school, then it's time for you to start bringing up, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's okay to have those conversations at elementary and middle school age. It's good, because then your child is actually thinking that one day I'll be an adult, and what is it that I want to do with the rest of my life? So parents have homework in my book. After each chapter, they have to reflect and decide what are they going to do for the success of their child. And so there's space for parents to write actually what they are going to do to help their child after each chapter.
Oh, that's fantastic. Bridging the gap between parents and schools. Parent and School Communication 101 is Chapter 7 in this book by Dr. Elaine Love. And I found that chapter very compelling. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. There is a wonderful gift that the National Congress of Black Women has given to the people of the United States. A bronze portrait bust of abolitionist and women's rights advocate Sojourner Truth is the first sculpture to honor an African-American woman in the United States Capitol. The bust was donated by the National Congress of Black Women Incorporated The organization's founder, C. Dolores Tucker, long dreamed of having this bust installed in our nation's capital. On April 28, 2009, her dream was realized under the leadership of Dr. E. Fay Williams, Esquire, National Chair of the National Congress of Black Women. Here we see First Lady Michelle Obama and former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, at the unveiling. The bust is now on display permanently in Emancipation Hall in the Capitol Visitor Center.
So Chapter 7, bridging the gap between parent and school. Well, some parents don't know how to navigate those waters in regards to what do I do if I have issues at school? How do I find out what type, what grade is my child getting in their classes? We do set up for parents in our school district actual computerized way of checking their child's grades online. But how do we get that information out? We do a lot to get the information out, but we still miss some parents that still don't know how to check grades online. But not only just that, if some parents have issues going on with their child at school, I always say it's important to find one person at that school that's going to play a key role in you bonding with them, helping you throughout the middle school years or high school years. And that way, when you have an issue, you know there's that one person at that school that knows you and knows your child and will be able to help you and your child with whatever's going on. Mm-hmm. If it's not an emergency or you don't really need to see the school, because of nothing major, it's always important to make an appointment. Mm-hmm. We make appointments with our doctors, so it's always important to make an appointment with the school. Now, if you know there's something going on and if there is an emergency, then what you could do also is just call the school and ask, when is a good time to come in to talk about whatever's going on with their child. Because sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes we do see parents that'll just come up to the school with no appointment and they need help right away. So usually, we work with whoever is available to actually help that parent. But it's always helpful to make an appointment. That way that person can spend a scheduled time with you and actually spend that time listening to you and not having to rush with whatever's going on, but be able to take that time out with you because you already had it logged in with them. And so I talk about Parenting 101, and I give a list of probably 10 key things parents should do. 1, when you come to the school, be professional. 2, don't make the school your enemy, but work with them. One thing that I put in there is that although we want to believe everything our child says, do know that teachers normally have better things to do than to tell things that aren't true about your child. Right. So being defensive doesn't help. It doesn't solve any problems. So what you want to do is use your problem-solving skills. How am I going to be able to work with whatever teacher or school official at that school to problem solve? But I see that some parents are defensive, or some of them just don't know what to do. So the first thing they want to do is fight or take flight. And so again, it's just simple things you do when you want to work with the school and talk to them positively about your child. Because when you come in a defensive mode, it doesn't solve any problems. Whether the school's defensive or the parent's defensive, it doesn't solve anything. In the end, it's about the child and what we're going to do to help that child to be successful.